All right, so it's setting up on YouTube. All right, awesome. So we are live. We are live, Tron. Hey, everybody. Hey, we are back again with another video for conscious creatives and artists and helping you to develop and create the life, the creative, artistic life of your dreams. That is why we are here. This is what we're doing. And we are ready to just share and teach you more. So before we begin, well, today, let me just tell you, our topic today is identifying your creative niche and goals. And we're going to really dive into that real quick, briefly today. But before we do, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Maisha Francis. I'm an artist, I'm a teacher, I'm a curator, and most of all, I'm a coach for conscious creatives and artists. And I help artists and creatives to live their highest creative dreams and dip into their highest earning potential as well. So that's who I am, Tron.
Yep, and I'm Tron Mahler. I am a coach, facilitator, and trainer. I help come alongside people and help them grow, help them look at themselves, learn, so they can become that highest expression of who they're called to be.
Yes. Yes. Well, so again, today we're talking about identifying your goals and your creative niche. And in this section of the journey, we take a deep dive into your creative portfolio and potential. We take time to identify your style, your artistic voice, and answer questions that'll help propel you into what you really, really want to be working on. So last week we talked about creating your mindset, sacred practices that you can do to enhance your creativity, things like being isolated, journaling. And now we're going to dive into it and say, okay, what did you get from that? And what can we pull out from that and start working on?
Yep. So so when you think about, as a conscious creative, and that's what you are, and you live into that space. So when you think about, identify, right? What pictures begin to come to mind for you when you think about yourself as a conscious creative and identify? What pictures come to mind for you?
So just piggybacking on, what we talked about last week, for me, it then becomes, what have I unpacked and uncovered? And now, what do I really want to see manifest? And so I go into thinking about the feelings and emotions that have risen up in isolation through journaling, through my sacred practices. I start seeing the vision. I start letting the vision unfold and really just kind of moving towards that vision. So did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think you're right on it. It's like yes, it's like what pictures began to come to you, and so I think you started going, back into and then moving forward into like I listened to that voice, right? I listened to what is now, calling me to be and calling me to become. So yeah, you were hitting that internal piece,
Okay.
right? That internal piece. So yeah, you're answering you're answering the question because it's identified. So it's identified. So it's like that, who am I, on the inside, right? And so if you were to think about, you as the creative and your niche. And so I would draw that thread, connect that thread as what you hear, who you are, and then what you create. Read us through that, right? What happens for you as a person of who you are, how you listen, and then what you comes out of that, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. So, and it's really in tying all of those things together, right? So who am I, right? I'm a creative, I'm an artist, I'm a woman. What have I unpacked in my time of journaling, of isolation, of practicing? And so then those things answer these questions that I have under identify, which is, what have I done? What are the experiences that I've had so far, up until that point in the journey? And what do I want to do? but from a deeper, grounded place. And all of that, again, is uncovered in journaling, in isolation. Also, things that I begin to ask myself, what do I want to stop doing? And what do I want to begin doing? And so in answering all of those questions, just really identifying then what does that picture look like? You know, is it, so for me, all right, so let me give practical examples now. Let's say in this space and time right here, right now, what have I done? So previously I've done some figurative pieces, some abstract pieces. And what I've uncovered is that the abstract pieces bring me closer to my essence, closer to the creator. And so then now I've done that. Now, what do I want to do? Well, I want to go deeper into those abstract pieces and let the colors or the energy of what I've uncovered in my sacred time unfold and blossom. That's what I really want. That's now I'm really identifying what it is that needs to come through me. What do I want to stop doing? So I used to do, I know I have a whole collection of jazz pieces that I do. I want to stop doing so much of that so I can pour so much more into what I do want to do, which has come up through my sacred practices, which is painting my heart space. So yeah, that's how that kind of unfolds. And it's, you know, we might want to make it like it's something so complex, but really identifying what you want to do is as simple as developing, getting still, getting quiet, you know, doing those practices, and then saying, okay, this is what I've done. This is what came up. This is what I've done. This is what feels good. This is what doesn't. And then this is what I want to do, and unfold what has come up, what also has come up, if that makes sense. I hope that made.
Yeah, it was clear sense, right? It was clear sense. Yeah, I just tell you what I heard you say, right? I heard you say, hey, you know, what I do in my journaling, in my time, you know, in my isolation, right? Something now begins to bubble up inside of me. Something is there, it's like germinating, you know, inside of me. And then what I began to do is I began to come out of that, right? And as one of my friends who coaches it, if that does not come, that if that which within does not come out of you, it will kill you.
Yes, that's good.
And so what I'm hearing you say is, okay, now that is coming out of me, right? And then now I began to just I began to begin to let it craft and begin to put down an initial theme of what I'm seeing, or some would say is a framework, right? A general framework. All the many different expressions, could be painting, could be pottery, could be whatever. I do a framework. And then this is what I heard you say, which is I love it, right? I love your framework for this. You said, I begin to ask myself questions and then begin to go, and then me asking myself questions allows me to go a little bit deeper into the details of what I'm seeing, how I'm seeing it, and what I really want this expression. I really, really want this expression, you know, to be able to be. So that questioning is not a question that you're challenging the essence of you, but what you're challenging is I love the detail of this blue right here. I love to have this orange right here. I love to have this pink right here. I love to move and craft this arm, you know, craft this arm right here. So you're smiling, right? So you're smiling. So what's germinating? What's happening for you as I begin to go through that? What's going through your mind?
Because as you said it, I was thinking, yeah, you begin to get down into the detail when you take that time out to really identify. Because I started smiling when I was saying, when you were saying, okay, yeah, I love to have this blue. For me and for many creatives, what comes up is, yeah, and I love to have a little piece of pottery disc that I made just on the fly and stick it on there. I love to take, you know, some coils of copper that I'm playing with over here and stick it on there because copper is resonating with me right now for some reason. So yeah, really like diving into those details and identifying what came up and what do you want to do and what are you feeling? Like what materials, you know, what are you feeling? And the reason why this is so important, because a lot of artists will glide over this identified piece and just start working and moving. And now you feel like you're all over the place because you are, which is fine, as I always say, but you can hone it better when you identify what you want to be working on and doing in this season.
You start getting into, that whole thing of style, right? Say
Mhm.
more about a conscious creative style. How do they use a style? What does that mean? What is that? How important is that?
That's a big conversation because a lot of art, and I heard this a lot in my early art career, like an artist has not arrived until they have a style, right? And that's a whole other conversation. It really is trying, but I'm gonna touch it for a second.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I believe, and I've come to believe after 20 years of being an artist, that style is so it's confined. An artist can have a style, right? But it doesn't mean that that is their only style. That is the only way they work. If that's the case, then we don't give fashion designers and fashion lines and brands room to grow.
Mm,
Give artists room to grow. People, I remember feeling pigeonholed like, oh, she paints jazz. I don't. I'm a painter. I just paint. Like my style now is abstract work with these bright, beautiful colors and golds but that's not my only style. That's just a part of my creativity. So again, that's a whole bag of worms. Why'd you ask that question? Because I'm
yeah.
like, that is a whole conversation. That might even turn into a debate for some people, but that is a big deal.
Gotcha. Yeah, can I just stay just can I dig it just a little bit more? Because I think that hit something I think we're there. What blocks people from being able to have their style, or what limits a conscious creative from being able to use their style or express their style?
I think maybe the confinement of the word of having to feel like they have a style. Um, well, okay,
Mm,
wait, maybe that's not the question you asked. The question you said, what prohibits an artist or conscious creative from expressing their style? Maybe fear,
mm,
fear that their style won't be received, or that maybe they don't even understand their own style because style
mm,
is so subjective, right? Yeah, style is hugely subjective, but I think fear keeps artists from really expressing and sharing the totality of their different styles that they want to express.
mm. And so how did you get over it? How did you get over it? I know you shared a little bit of that. How did you get over that to be able to say, I'm going to work through this fear? How did you do that?
Really through development and through, sitting with being in my sacred practices, being with my journaling, my meditation, it becomes a burn. You get these messages and these things that rise up in you so much to the point where it's just like, I have to do it. Or like you just said, I'll suffer. And that's how I got over that fear, because now when I come to the point of identifying, I know exactly what I want to say and do. I know what I've done. I know how it made me feel. And now I know what I want to say and do, because it is not required, but just like what's that word when you have to? It's a passion. It's a burning
Mm-hmm.
passion. So that's how I got over that fear. Because let me be real right here. I
Okay.
remember when I
Okay.
first
Yeah, this is
did
the space is for. This is what this space is for, right?
when I first did abstract painting, and my daddy, who is like one of my biggest advocates, and I just love his opinion. I just love him being happy and proud of me. He was like, "What is it?" And my feelings were hurt, but he was just like, huh? He was like, what, where your jazz pieces, Fats? What is this? Now he'll probably be like, but I know I have a message. I know I have, and
Mm,
the people that connect with my work, they not almost, they cry or they feel like so emotional. Even me, sometimes I walk in and I see a small piece that I've done. I'm like, oh, I connected with spirit. So
mm,
that gets me over that gets me knowing that this is what I need to do. I'm called to do. I have to express the message that was downloaded or poured into me. Development is everything. That gets me over that, because now I've I've identified, I know what I need to do. I know what
Mm,
I've done. I know what has come up, and I know where I gotta go.
Yeah, thank you for just allowing me to go, to just allow me to ask you just a little bit deeper on that.
Sure, that's what you do, y'all. This is what
Yeah.
Brian does. He is like this. He has been my coach. He's an amazing coach. But that's the journey, really digging in, really digging in. Yeah.
Yeah, my last question. So you're thinking about, we've developed this framework to help conscious creatives, grow and be and just, do their thing, right? And just take their stuff and just, flow, right? Flow and be the success. Right. So for this identify, if you had to kind of say, hey, this is what identify in this framework is all about, what would you say? What would you say? This is what identify. This is what will help a conscious creative. What would you say? Okay, take a deep breath.
Okay. I love when you do that. You ask the
Take a
question.
deep breath. One more.
Mm.
So, what does identify all about?
Identify is all about getting clear about the season you're in and what you want to come out creatively. Let me say it again. Identify is all about being clear about the season you're in and what needs to come up and out onto the canvas. And develop was the same thing, but identify is just that one step deeper in.
Mm, gotcha. Gotcha. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate, allow me to be in the space with you and allow me to just us do this, week after week and maybe as we navigate through this and as we serve. I appreciate those conscious creators. I appreciate you allowing me in your space.
Yes, thank you. And remember, y'all can always connect with us. I'm at mfrancisgallery.com. Trine is at trinemolar.com. If you like it, click like, subscribe, and share it with your other conscious creative artists and friends. And let's build and grow and make some conscious art, like some stuff that's going to help us raise the vibration of the planet, raise your own personal vibration, and just bless the world. So thank you,
All
Tron.
right. Thank you. Thank you. Bless you.